for joining us today. This is Guild's third annual GSV Guild Bake Off. Show of hands, who watches Great British Bake in the audience? Okay. This table back here doesn't have any Great British Bake fans. It's okay, we're gonna catch you up. We're here for an education-themed bake-off, so while we won't have any profiteroles or delicious breads to snack on, hopefully we'll have some. I know. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of snacks out there, so who knows? Yeah. But we will have, hopefully, some showstoppers in innovative programming nonetheless. Quick introduction, my name is Elyse Hackney. I'm a senior director at Guild on our Learning Partner Success team. I work with the partners that make up the benefit program of a lot of our esteemed employers. I am your co-host today, and also hosting with me is Raymond. I don't know if you wanted to introduce yourself.
Sure. It's great to see everyone here. I'm Raymond. I'm on the GSV Ventures investment team. I lead workforce investment, or I shouldn't say lead. I do workforce investments. And we spend all our time looking at really innovative workforce solutions at the early stage and also later stage. We're proud investors of Guild Education. And yeah, we're very excited to see all of the innovative stuff that you guys bake up today.
Amazing. I'm excited to be here for a number of reasons. Not only does it combine my passion for baking, thus combining both delicious baked goods and innovative programming for working adult learners all in one, but also it's going to be a program where you all get to roll up your sleeves and get your hands a bit doughy. I will make sure most of the time today here is spent actually working with your table mates on building innovative, thoughtful programming around durable skills. But first, I want to explain what the heck that is and what we mean by that, give a little bit of insight and context, and introduce you to a little bit about the structure of today's bake-off. There were more hands not raised than raised, so I'll give you all a fair leg up in this contest. And then I'll end by introducing you or letting our judges introduce themselves before we get into the collaborative period itself. So at Guild, we have the distinct privilege and honor of working with a number of Fortune 500 employers. And over the last period of time, there's been increasing excitement around the need, especially in their upskilling ladder around what they've identified as durable professional skills. We really think about these loosely defined as these professional skills that improve performance, both set employees up to stand out in their current roles and their roles for the future. Some tangible examples for those in the room might not just be around communication and collaboration, but around problem solving, around organization, time management, goal setting, and so forth. In your basket, I brought some of these materials up here. Don't look at them yet, but you will have a number of pieces of information or special ingredients, if you will. One of those is a durable skills overview. So at the start of this contest, you'll be able to brush up a little bit more. So thinking about durable skills, and then the other challenge, obviously, that we have understood is combining the challenge of upskilling these workers in that space with the general, unique, important work of training working adults. And so at Guild, we've learned a lot about what these working adults look like. For our population, these students work over 40 hours a week. Over 50% of them have child-caring responsibilities. Most of them, I think 80%, are first-generation college students. So definitely a difficult population, but essential population to serve. So for today's technical challenge, we're going to be asking you to develop a program in building a unique and innovative durable skill program. It will be hands-on. We're going to be doing a technical challenge. Okay, so most people didn't raise their hands for a Great British Bake. The show itself is structured into 3 parts. You have a signature challenge at the beginning, a technical challenge in the middle, and a showstopper at the end. In the technical challenge portion, which is what we're simulating this off of, bakers are all given a special ingredient or a set of ingredients and very ill-defined instructions. And they aren't given bake temperatures, they aren't given really much knowledge, and they have to rely on their skills as a baker to intuit what the right answers are to build the best possible baked good. For your technical challenge, you're gonna take a special ingredient set inside your basket. It's some component of a specific type of durable skill that we want you to build a program around. It'll look like this. Oh, sorry, wrong. It'll look like this. And you will read what that is. For example, this one is managing yourself, time management, growth mindset, goal setting, creativity. And you will build a program keeping in mind who your average worker is. You have an information sheet about that. This is the typical working adult learner, as well as broader context of the durable skills. All of these are pieces you have in your basket. And you will imbue in that, lastly, a card around design considerations. These are your very loose recipe instructions that give you some core elements to consider in your build. I recommend you take about 5 to 10 minutes by going around your table, introducing yourself, getting familiar with your materials, and then you'll have about 30 minutes after that 5 minutes to kind of build an innovative program design. During that period of time, our esteemed judges, who will introduce themselves in just a moment, will walk around similar to Paul and Prue. They're the judges on Great British Bake. They're gonna ask pointed questions, raise their eyebrows, add a lot of doubt to whatever you thought you were doing, or maybe really reinforce it. You know Prue loves the heavy pour on the alcohol bakes. I know. And at the end, each team will have about 3 minutes to present back to the collective group what they came up with. Hopefully we can all learn from each other, get inspired together. Our judges have a judging card. I will cheat by giving you the 4 categories that you'll be judged on: accessibility, outcomes, degree to which you meet the special ingredient, and innovation. So those are the framework by which you're building your program. And the winners, there is a reward, so stick around. We'll take 5-10 minutes to tally the results, then invite the winning team up for a small token of recognition. Any questions? What? What's the prize? Oh, I'm not gonna tell you. This is how I'm gonna keep you here. It's incredible, believe me. You're gonna wanna stay the whole time and you really wanna win. Before you go, I'm gonna let each judge introduce themselves and then we'll go ahead and kick it off. I will let everyone know when we've hit that 5 to 10 minute mark in and 5 minutes out so that you can kind of wrap up your train of thought, make sure you've got something on paper and designated a presenter back to the group. The judges will also give 1 to 2 minutes of feedback after each presentation so that, again, we can all learn together. All right, I'll start with Mark.
Awesome. Thanks, Elyse. Hey, everybody. My name's Mark Rudnick. I, like Elyse, am at Guild. I lead up the team that we call our Learning Partnerships Group. So that's the team that looks after the relationships that Guild has with its learning partners. And we've got a couple of those here with us today, which I'm super excited about.
My name is Jamie Smith Talwar. I am Vice President of Program at GSV Summit. And prior to that, I worked as an academic leader both in schools and in ed tech. And I'm now excited to be here to build community and connect with you all and learn about the great work you're doing in Workforce. And I am personally a fan of the Bake Off, so I'm very excited to see your innovation at your tables.
I follow instructions very well, which is why I'm not a baker. So good afternoon, I'm Blakely Pomietto. I am the Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and Chief Academic Officer at the University of Maryland Global Campus. For those of you who might be unfamiliar, we are actually a 4-year state public institution, but we are almost predominantly online, asynchronous. We are an open access institution, and we serve almost exclusively adult learners. However, 50% of those learners are active duty military members, all around the world. So while we are online for instructional purposes, we actually have about 180 different locations around the world where service members and their families and dependents can engage with some of our academic support teams and get the guidance they need to stay on their journey. So as you think about your charge today, I am super excited to hear what ideas you have that we could actually translate into something real within the environment and the service to our learners. So yay.
Hey everyone, I'm Eleanor Cooper and I'm the CEO and co-founder of an organization called Pathstream. We're a mission-driven organization that is really focused on unlocking the potential in the frontline workforce. We have a belief that the individuals who are serving customers on a day-to-day basis have been underinvested in, but as technology more and more comes into play and with generative AI, these roles will be changing, and it's an enormous opportunity to up-level their roles, up-level their salaries, and provide both economic mobility and success for their organizations. So excited to work with you all today. Our team is a technology team, so feel free to tap me for anything particularly related to generative AI or technology as you solution, as well as learning design. Back to you.
Eleanor's team is helping us build a durable, or just built a durable skills program, so she's got exceptional expertise here, having just run this gauntlet herself. All right, I'm going to, I forget the exact word, Great British Bake People, like what do they say to dismiss them? What's that? Ready, set, bake. All right, your time is up. Do we have any good bakes? If you can hear my voice, clap one time. If you can hear my voice, clap 2 times. If you can hear my voice, clap 3 times. All right, your time is up. I hope you got a good bake out of what you created. I'm newly adorned with a chef's hat. A hint at one of the prizes, not all of the prizes. I'm leaving the grand finale as a surprise. Now is the portion where everybody is going to share a little bit of insight. Think about this as like a very condensed viewpoint into what you've spent the last 30 minutes chatting about and creating. Include some of the key program design elements on the spreadsheet, and you kind of know what the judging framework is around. Could someone read off the 4 criteria again? I think it's
accessibility, outcomes, secret ingredient, and innovation.
The secret ingredient, again, is that challenge card. So nominate one person. You'll have roughly up to 3 minutes to present. You'll get 1 to 2 minutes of feedback from our judges, and we'll go around the room. As each person presents, they'll be submitting their scorecards. We'll do a very rapid-fire tally with my help from Anthony De La Rosa over here, who has a large head and doesn't. And then we will announce the winner. So do I have a volunteer to go first? If not, I'll volunteer. Oh, Cappy, you're my hero. Thank you.
I figure it's easier to go first, so I'm going to go first. Okay. So our challenge or secret ingredient was managing yourself, so time management, growth mindset, goal setting, and creativity. Okay, so we are talking about an application here that starts with a pre-assessment, so we kind of know where they are with this already. And we liked the idea of having them put in a desired career so that rather than trying to measure them on what they already know or what they're currently doing, if they see this could be my next step or my desired career, and then the learning that will happen will be based on that career. So an AI-generated playbook that is specific to these challenges, so these skills, but for that desired career. So you would get scenarios with that. So if I want to be a supervisor, maybe the scenarios are around managing your team.
And this is an experience app, not a course.
Yeah, this is an experience app. Thank you very much. And so they would each get a personalized playbook for each of these subsets right here. They would be very short snippets, definitely mobile responsive, so not more than even as low as half an hour. So if they happen to be at their kids' soccer game, they can be doing part of their work. We would award maybe badges or give nudges if you have had a streak, like say you have 4 days in a row that you've done some work in your app on these skills, so kind of to keep you motivated. It would all be scenarios. It would be gamified. You would have virtual colleagues, virtual team members, and a virtual coach. So as you went through each of these scenarios, you would get responses, or you would see what would happen based on what you were doing with the virtual colleagues, and then you would get feedback from the virtual coach. So you could have suggested this, or why didn't you suggest that, or whatever, and do it again. So at the end of each one, you could have an assessment. This would all be tracked, obviously, and that would be giving you the timely feedback, right, from the coach. And we thought also for unique assessment items, kind of having a little bar for each of these four, for time management, growth, mindset, goal setting, and creativity, that grows as you got better, as you're going through it. So each scenario you did, you could see immediately how you were doing and if you were going in the right direction for each of those things. And it would be so that's the continual feedback on the assessment, and it would be iterative. So at each one, you could have it would start another scenario and another challenge, and then you work your way through that, see how that does, and just keep going, getting the nudges and things to keep you going until you are proficient at all four of these. Did I forget anything? Say that again. Like a fitness journal. So that's what we came up with.
Thank you. Judges, any feedback?
I love the application. Can you hear me? Okay, great. I love the application of the durable skills to the career paths, and so that there's an applied basis of it. I don't know if you're thinking unlimited career opportunities that people could choose from, or a subset in practicality, but I think that the idea of making it such that they're learning durable skills, but they're doing it in the context of something that's motivating and there's a context that they're excited about is helpful.
I'll jump in. I loved the gamification aspect of that. I wonder if somebody ever plays Duolingo. But the badges, the nudging, the ability to track your own progression, I think that's a really nice sort of built-in motivation to keep on going and not let your learning lapse day over day. So that's a great suggestion.
Yeah, and I would just add that I like the iterative learning and feedback cycles that you included of scenario-based, how would an actual colleague respond in this situation? It gives the opportunity for an app to feel like a real-life application, and to see the bars grow towards proficiency is a really nice application.
All right. Judges, go ahead and complete your scores while we find the next volunteer. Oh, first hand up. I'm going to walk towards the back. I need the Jeopardy music to play while the judges are filling out their cards. Do you want me to give you any hand cues when you're hitting 3 minutes? Yeah. We're really excited to share our bake-off, which is called Manage Up. And we know that it matters for frontline workers who are very busy to be motivated. So first up is we want Manage Up to be about getting promoted or moving up in your current job, or about a pathway to a future career that you really want. And so you'll be either nominated by your manager, you can also self-nominate, but your manager is involved in some way through this app. Also, some managers aren't that helpful, so knowing that, we want them to be motivated or to go to a new path. This is the motivation. So there's 3 main components to Manage Up. The first is that there is a curriculum. That curriculum is designed by that pre-assessment. And so we don't want everyone to go through the same 6-month curriculum if they're really strong. In our case, our secret ingredient is having really strong communication skills, relationship skills with your manager. We want to be able to provide specific support in those areas, for example, in receiving feedback or talking really well to your manager and doing upward feedback. So having customized curriculum there.
this curriculum is all based on scenarios and role plays. So how would you, for example, react to getting really tough feedback? Would you cry, or would you say, thank you, that was really helpful, how can I apply it? So whatever your response is, it would be an app where it's response-based. You can access those videos which are delivered by those frontline workers who look like you, who you can really feel connected to and feel like, okay, these are my people. They are really giving their stories and helping give helpful advice. And then you're giving your own response and saying the AI, which is trying to bring the technology and innovation to it, will then assess your response and say, spot on, let's keep on moving, or hold on, maybe tears, you gotta work on like your emotional regulation. So over the 6 months, there's a curriculum based on what you most need, and all of that is adaptive to you. We know that it's not just about curriculum, it's also about community. We wanna feel connected. And so there are other humans who are working on that specific skill, being able to know, you and I are in the same cohort together, how's it going? We do wanna provide a live, optional way of celebrating, and also our struggles and also our wins. And so how can that live application be provided so you have a cohort, you have a community, and it also allows us to feel like every time you have application, you're actually applying it to your job itself and saying, okay, this is a time to give some feedback. Let's try it. How did it go? And you're like, I burst into tears. Okay, well, let's, take a step back, try again. And so having that community also means your real life community, your manager at work, your peers at work. And then this all leads to, hopefully there's a coach too. So your community, your coach, it could be an AI coach, or you can partner with mentor organizations who provide this service for free. People in your industry, people who are managers, to say, we're building a relationship and you actually want to go into my industry, let me help you and support you and develop that personal relationship. So both AI and a real person. And finally, we know that certification matters. There's that LinkedIn certification. I'm sure there's other ways of getting credit, both at your job, and so how can you celebrate, here's a certification I got from my job, to get recognized at my job, but also just globally. I have this certification and really strong manage-up skills, so how can I be recognized outside? And hopefully all of that then delivers a new role either at my current organization or a future organization, and then I become a mentor for the next crew of people. So it cycles back, and maybe I can be featured as a success story for others.
Thank you. Yeah. And you can download this today in the Android and iOS marketplaces. So. Just here to make sure my handwriting was readable.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
I love that it acknowledges that even though multiple people might have the same career destination, we don't all start at the same point.
I loved your thoughtfulness about needing a community of other people who are having the same experience and enabling that to be asynchronous, but still part of the overall experience for the learner.
I think the engagement with the manager and making sure that the manager actually is engaged is really smart. One of the things that we often see, I think, from just the way employees engage, is that while like the leadership of their company may be highly supportive of them taking learning and development offerings, the day-to-day manager support varies from one person to the next. It can have a dramatic impact on whether the person is actively motivated or in some cases even like maybe discouraged to advance themselves. So I love that you made that a part of the process from the very beginning.
Okay, thank you. Judges? All right. Proactive. I'm going to walk slowly to give them some time to think. Who's speaking over here?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
That would be, hello, thank you. I hope you all are hungry. We are Leadership Labs, the frontline decision maker. So what if I told you in 20 minutes a day as an employer or an employee, you can get all of the skills identified here to be a great decision maker at the frontline level. This is a mobile design. You can complete it in 1 month's time. Once you're done with that skill, you can move on to the next skill and earn different badges along the way. Component about this that we like, you can set it up in teams. So it can be like a game, like a step challenge, and you can compete against all of your other coworkers that you definitely want to beat. And the managers can use this to compete division to division, team to team. An important piece to this is we wanted to communicate the value proposition to the person taking it. We have all been through a million training programs, and just because we think it's a great idea doesn't mean the person taking it thinks it's a good idea. So why is this important? Why does this matter? That is our first intro course. Okay, it's quick, it's dirty, it's great, and you love it. Okay, I get why I'm doing this, we move on. Then you move on to your pre-test so we can identify your baseline knowledge of the topic, ours being decision making. And then we go into the overview of what Leadership Labs is on a larger scale, where we can incorporate all of the other topics in the room into our lab after you complete decision making. It is 20 minutes a day to complete this in 1 month's time. It is scenario-based, based on each of the 6 identified skills in decision making. So we will give you a variety of scenarios. You will choose a response, and AI will give you feedback based on the response. It will give you, hey, that was really good, but maybe you could do this next time. Or that's exactly correct. That is what you would do in this customer scenario. And then from there, to wrap up that month, we will give each individual competing in that a project, a real-world business case to solve around the specific topic. They will do it, and then they will receive leadership feedback from either their manager or other people on the leadership team of their specific organization. And finally, we will do a post-assessment, because we all need to be getting better all the time and can't assume that everything we did was great and amazing. So we take the post-assessment, get the feedback from the student or employee completing this, so we know how to make it better every darn time. Did I miss anything?
It's strength-based, and I think that's really important for frontline workers, you know, the awareness. So sometimes when we're thinking about motivation, we're thinking about, as a frontline worker, are we gonna get paid more? Where's the incentive here? And so being able to have that value in between what the leadership of the organization needs, but also what the frontline worker needs, and then this decision-making awareness is really a motivator. And so when you're doing it in a place where it's practical in my life, it's also practical in the people that are working around me and the folks that are leading me, I think that it will be accessible, and it has a cool name, Leadership Labs for frontline decision makers.
Thank you.
So in your design, I did really appreciate the post-assessment being really focused on how do I apply this immediately in my job, and then incorporating the company or the managers to give feedback on that. It gives that application of what I've learned here, I'm immediately applying in my job, and I'm seeing the feedback from that. So I really like that element of your design.
I love that you called out strengths-based approach. I think for so many adult learners and higher education, we often tend to think that it's a deficit model, right? Everybody starts from knowing nothing because higher ed, administrators, faculty are the experts, and you're really honoring the learner and everything that they bring with the pre-test first. I think that's a real strength. I also loved the idea of gamification within a team or across teams within an organization. Again, I think it touches on that belongingness and some incentive to continue every day.
I definitely echo the strengths-based in that, like, doing this work over the last 6 years, I feel like I started off being like, oh yeah, confidence is important. And then every year, I think I probably at the end of the year could say, I don't think we can emphasize the role of confidence enough. And so I think just continuing to emphasize that is really critical.
Amazing. Thank you, judges. All right, looking for my next, I saw the hand, the eagerness in the back.
All right. All right, we are Teamwork Makes the Dream Work. I'm a very supportive team, as you can tell. So our durable skill is working with a team, collaboration, conflict resolution, building trust, all of those types of things. And so our program is short-term, 6 months. We thought a lot about accessibility, and we want students to be able to enter into this at whatever point they're at and move at their own pace, so competency-based. If you get done sooner than 6 months, great. If you needed the whole time, that's great too. So from that point of view, it's at your own pace. Flexible delivery, mobile compatibility, skill mastery through application, and it would be scenario-based. We want our scenarios to come from employers so that they're real world. So we would want to survey employers and design those scenarios based on their real world examples that relate to teamwork in the areas of collaboration, conflict resolution, and building trust. For assessment, throughout this short program, we would have 3 levels of assessment. One would be self-evaluation. We want learners to kind of look at where they think they are. We want to have a peer evaluation component. Even though this is asynchronous and fully online, we want students to be able to build community if that's something that's important to them with others that might be in the course, even if they're at a different spot pace-wise. And then the third component is an AI team. So we wanted to dream a little, right? We would love to have an AI team, and that is our differentiator. An AI team that had different personas would strengthen this kind of teamwork program, because think about in the real world with people teams, we don't always experience all the personas. And then when we come up against one of those, we have more difficulty with building trust, collaborating, resolving conflict. So one of the strengths of the AI team would be we could have all these varieties of personas that students had to engage with and learn how to master skills in these areas of teamwork. And that's it.
Well done, well done.
I think it's a cool application of AI, of having people be able to have exposure to a number of different types of people and personalities, because if someone stays in a role or with a team or with a certain manager, they might really only have certain exposure. I think I love the thoughts about multiple forms of, or levels of assessment. The self-assessment is obviously really important to build that buy-in with the individual and have them have metacognition skills. Would encourage thinking about also having a instructor also provide assessment on a very specific rubric, such that there's making sure that everyone gets consistent feedback and that you feel really confident about the badging or certification that you're giving. But otherwise, love the scenarios also from employers.
I'll add that I appreciated the thoughts about sort of a competency-based model, and that you could work up to a certain point, but you could go faster if you wanted to. Even some of the other ones talking about just a few minutes a day. Some days for some adults and some parents, like, you can't find 20 minutes. And so the idea that I can do an hour today if I know I can't do my 20 minutes tomorrow, that kind of flexibility I think is really great.
Yeah, I'll just underscore, I really appreciated the application of AI here, especially there's a very clear tie to the competency that you are working on, and I really appreciated the intentionality of using AI in that way.
All right, thank you, judges. I'll give you a minute to tally your responses and look for my next victim. There's only 2 tables left, so all right, in the back.
We're ready. You guys ready? Awesome. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about Promotion Ready. Promotion Ready is helping individuals build the right skills that the employers are looking for through AI-based simulations. So Our two profiles we're looking at, we named Mike and Amanda, but folks that are adult learners, some of them are confident and they know they want to be the first-gen student that is up and coming and crushes it. Some are folks who maybe have had tough outcomes. So we wanted to build a program starting at the beginning that had one-on-one connections to help meet the students where they are. So that was our first start. Before they're even a part of the program, they're hearing about other outcomes from other students, understanding what their unique problems are, and then helping them to see what the results of this 6-month program are going to do for their careers in the next steps, and then getting them started by connecting them with the dynamic cohort of individuals who are also going through it at the same time and share similar goals so that they can go through and use this AI simulator and their cohorts, their instructors, their coaches to build the same skills that the last group talked about, which would be collaboration, conflict resolution, and building trust. And I'll give it to our programming team to talk a little bit more about what that'll look like.
Cool, thank you. So our approach was similar to what we've heard in here a lot around AI and simulation-based, no curriculum. Where I think we differentiate is we wanted to build something that connected the flexibility and the gamification with a scaffolded skills approach. So we broke the program post-onboarding. So the idea of onboarding is really level setting where you are, identifying what your strengths and gaps are, and then the program itself is we divided into 3 general phases. One is French.
Mise en place.
So this is about like the ingredients all being in the right spot. The next one is the proofing, where you're gonna have some burned bread, you're gonna have some soggy bottoms, and then the final step is mastery. Each of the different kind of trimesters function the same way, where students are put in kind of dynamic cohorts, either based on their schedule, so they can, when they log in, they can work on a simulation with either a bunch of AIs, or if other students are available at the same time, we can pair them with a cohort. We think because this skill is so rooted in team and collaboration, the more team dynamics we can create, the more students will be able to apply these skills. As we move up, each section is just really getting harder, right, of increasing the rigor and the proficiency required to move on. But the way you move on is through gamification. That gamification requires you to take a metacognitive approach and understand your own learning style, because in order to move up, you need either to reach a couple of streaks in terms of the amount of time you've put in. As we're gonna talk about in the outcomes section, we think that the certificate, credential, whatever it is really a collection of applied experiences that you can speak to of how you stood out from your peers in your way to communicate, collaborate, and manage conflict. And so you can't move to the next level until you have those tangible things that you can talk about either at an interview, at a performance review, or even just like any kind of run-of-the-mill experience, because we truly believe with durable skills, it's not always it's not as cut and dry as technical skills where these things unlock the next. It's really more about getting better every day at your current job so that you wind up standing out, and then when the opportunity presents itself, you're ready. Okay, outcomes.
So learning is one thing, but we have to somehow validate it. So that's our third part of our program, and we want to make sure that somebody says that I know it, there's some way to back that data. And we created this so-called a framework for validating every skill, and starts with always a self-assessment, because one of our persona is self-doubting themselves, like whether I have the confidence or not. Then we talk about peer assessment. Then we talk about the simulated scenarios where they can simulate and figure out how they behave and all. Then put that in the real application. Every phase has a feedback and the evaluation loop, but the most important way you can validate a skill is how you teach someone. So at the end, we go back and say that if you know the skill, you learn it, you do it, and teach it. So that's how we validate our whole program at the end and continuously bring together everything. And there are multiple facets to it, how you validate and what this course and all. AI simulation, everything is validating that.
And if you forced me to say one more thing to butter the judges up, ooh, butter, very bakey. We forgot to mention that the other reason that we're using dynamic cohorts is so each trimester can take however long, and it's wildly flexible to the needs like inside of the learning environment and external for this group of frontline learners.
Baking puns.
I love how thoughtful the assessment approach is, and in particular the idea of sort of a summative assessment that is oriented on teaching someone else the skills. I just think that's really smart. I do have a question about like how accessible that is to the average frontline learner and like their willingness. One of the things we see often is like the more, probably unsurprisingly, the more stressful the assessment is or looks, the harder it is to get students, in particular frontline learners, to make it all the way through. I think in particular in a program like this where they're not taking the program to necessarily to like pass a particular exam or get a particular certification, but it's more so the learning is more so inherent in and of itself. But I really love how thoughtful the assessment approach is. Sure.
I loved your mention of the dynamic cohorts. Again, I think that nods to a special kind of flexibility, so people still have peer support and connection, but it does allow for each and every learner to still move at their own pace without getting ahead or behind of their cohort and losing connection because of that.
I agree, and I'll just underscore, I appreciated the onboarding process of seeing the end result of this. I think being able to start there and see where am I going and how does that align to my own goals is great. And then I really appreciated the multifaceted assessment at the end to get a very well-rounded well-rounded picture of what has been learned, which also can feed a curriculum moving forward as well. So I really enjoyed that.
All right, thank you, judges. I'll let you complete your assessment, and there's only one place to go now. Well, all right, Steve.
How's everybody doing? I'm not starting yet. I'm waiting for them to get done writing. Can you all hear me okay? Typically, I don't need a microphone, but I'll use it today. So, my name is Steve Prue. I am the head of business development for Team Career Pathways. Today, I'm going to talk to you about a program we've developed called Leap Forward. Leap Forward not only empowers new employees to your organization, but it also empowers your organization to upskill, develop, and advance new employees throughout your organization for their career. LEAP is leadership, empowerment, accountability, and pathways designed to cover a multitude of opportunities, helping through leadership communication, pride in your role, pride of ownership in that role, and an opportunity to not only develop your career within an organization, but to create and choose your own pathway and your own career development. Our specific challenge was to discuss a durable set of skills that most large employers have prioritized for the future of their workforce and that will help augment existing competencies for many frontline workers. So the primary aspect of this is it is multimodal. You can access this program anywhere that you are on any device, from a phone to a tablet to a PC. You can do it on the train. You can do it after work. You can do it after you put your kids down to bed at night. It is truly accessible at any time. It is AI integrated, so that choosing this pathway for your career, it doesn't start with just the job that you're doing today. It helps you uncover truly who you want to be and what your career aspirations are inside of this organization. You came to work at this job maybe just because it was a paycheck, maybe because you are truly interested in working at Walmart, working at Lowe's, working at Disney or Discover. But there are other things that you want to do. And the Leap Forward program is going to help you get there. So AI-driven content adapts not only to what your career aspirations are, but where you want to choose to go throughout your career. This helps employers upskill and bring those folks through their organization. There's a constant mentorship that goes on between the employer and the employee. It works both ways. It's an upskill mentorship from the employee coming in with new ideas, new innovations, new ways to do things that maybe the employer hadn't thought about. And it's that traditional mentorship that comes from above to the new employees working their way through the Leap Forward program. So I only had 3 minutes to talk about this today. I'm quite certain I'm already there. But the accessibility, like I talked about, fully multimodal. You can complete this program, and it is designed to start on day one. So you get your benefits package with your health, your dental, your vision, your vacation, your retirement, and your Leap Forward program turns on and starts to develop your career aspirations from day one. Typically goes about 6 months, is what we're experiencing in our existing partnerships. But it can be done in way less time from that if somebody truly knows what they want to do and where they want to go. So beyond that is the assessment. How do we know we're doing a good job with Leap Forward? We created distinct KPIs for organizations to be able to measure, to say, who are these people and where are they going? Are they being promoted? Are they promotable? What are the career aspirations they have, and what are the skill sets they're lacking? That goes back to our leadership, our empowerment, our accountability, and creating a true pathway through Career Pathways organization. So thank you for your time.
So I'll go first. I love the idea. I heard you talk about how the employer and the employee are both involved in the experience. So again, nodding to the importance of having my manager as part of this journey and incentivizing my participation. I love the idea of it starts on day one. That signals a lot to an employee about the employer's investment in their growth and development, which happy employees, happier customers, better business outcomes. And I appreciated that you mentioned sort of as an outcome, KPIs defined by the organization. So if they have this program in place, how many of those employees are actually promoted as a result of this kind of experience? That was great.
I'll just echo. I really loved the day one through promotion tracking. I think the day one really gives a why. As an adult learner, understanding why am I doing this is really important, and working at a place that's invested in your career goals is a great why for someone when they start a job. And then I also appreciate it's not just about measuring what did I learn, but how did it impact my career, because that's really part of that why. And so that real life assessment is really intriguing, and I like that about your model.
Very strong presentation skills.
Yeah, I appreciated the branding and the business and the representative from the organization really here to put our best foot forward. That was fantastic.
All right, judges, we'll collect the final parts.
and reveal here momentarily if it's a good bake or not. All right. While my sous chef, Anthony, continues to tally, I will say really appreciated everyone's thoughtful attention and participation today. One of my favorite parts of Great British Bake is how even though they're competing, they all help each other and they all learn from each other, and invariably everyone gets better across the season. It's remarkable. Like, you see these bakers on day one and you think there's no way these guys are going to survive 12 weeks. And sometimes those are the people that win. And it's because they really band together as a team and learn from each other. They really cheer each other on. And so I think there's a lot of parallels to that in the education community, where it's so important that we all learn together, do better together. And hopefully this was an exercise in applying that. And the things that you talked about today, you can take back to your organization with one piece of inspiration. I think we do have, what's up? Yeah, we do have a winner. I don't think they named their group, but it is the table in the back right. That's what we named them. Yeah, congratulations. We have some small tokens of your victory that you can proudly use in the kitchen. The hat, I don't know if it'll survive, but there are some fun, very pun-tastic spatulas. This one says, remain, like romaine calm and bury on. Cute, right? There's some avocado ones. There's quite cute ones. So really appreciate everyone's participation. I know we're the last session of the day. Even still, we're going to get you out of here on time. So huge round of applause for all of you for a great time.